Hey, good morning, guys. Actually, probably good afternoon at this point. It's Veterans Day, November 11th. It's been a while since I've been able to make a car video. Hopefully the audio is pretty good. Let me know if it isn't. Just some thoughts for the day, too. Picking up feed and everything. So, just some ideas and some things I would recommend right now. So, one question came up was, what kind of things should you be doing for car maintenance in a time when things are getting harder to get? I would strongly recommend that if you... I can't... Hey, good afternoon, guys. It's Veterans Day, November 11th. Just to give you kind of a heads up, today is the craziest I've ever seen everything in town. It is packed, and I don't know if it's because it's a Friday or because every veteran right now is out looting all the Applebee's and destroying everything. I'm a vet myself. Farm and Fleet has a really good deal for 10% off your total purchase. So, make sure if you do go to all these places that you do thank them. I always recommend if you do go to a restaurant and they offer you a free meal, that you should tip whatever the meal would cost as your tip. These people are also serving you, so always show some respect back to the people in customer service. They don't give a day for these people. They don't get a day in remembrance for wait staff or anything else, and they get treated pretty harshly too. So remember, if you're getting that free meal, to honor back to the people that are serving you. Now, I had a question that came up in regards to basically car maintenance and vehicle maintenance and truck maintenance. One of the questions was, well, what do we do for, in an era when you can't get parts or you can't get things and, stuff is harder to get? Well, my advice to you is if you do your own oil changes, which I try to do all of mine for my vehicles, is that when you go to the store, you buy 2 oil filters or 3 oil filters instead of 1. You buy enough oil so that you have enough on hand to do an oil change on hand. So you get twice the oil. And then when you go and get for the next oil change, you go and buy it. That way you have enough for at least 1, maybe 2 additional oil changes. And it will serve you a good purpose. So things like, your truck and your car, is it pretty expensive? I run a higher quality oil because I go longer distances between oil changes. So I typically change my oil twice a year, every 6 months, and whether it needs it or not. And here's how I look at it. When I do it every 6 months, it's on a schedule set. I drive quite a bit with one vehicle, I drive a lot less with the other. However, they still get changed. But they get a quality oil. I use Royal Purple. Hate it or like it, it costs a little bit more, and I use a higher quality filter. So for me to buy 10 of these filters would be pretty expensive. So I don't buy 10, I buy an extra one. And I keep it on the shelf, I label it, that way I know what's going on. Now for equipment, which is where I would say the harder part of things get, people always forget. So 4-wheelers and ATVs and all that kind of stuff, the good fun stuff, well, make sure you get that too. Every year I change the oil on my 4-wheeler because it gets used as a plow. This year I went through and changed all the transmission fluid out of it. I changed that. It was darker. It gets used, so it's a very well used, well loved machine. So make sure you're doing your maintenance on those things. I think the harder things would be is 4-wheeler parts and all the stuff that's kind of a bit more limited of what you would find. Things too, like if you have a small engine, like anything small engine, like trash pumps and lawnmowers and all that kind of stuff, make sure you're servicing it. I know this year we probably have to definitely service our lawnmower, and we have to get new blades for it. So that's like one thing that you're gonna do. It doesn't get used as much because we cut our lawn maybe once every other week, unless it was growing crazy. So it's not like it's being abused, but it still needs it. It still needs to get done. You're taking care of your equipment. These are things that you're functioning with. I'm not saying things that you're going to function like and prepare. I bought this thing for when doomsday hits, but these are things for day-to-day life operations too. So some things that even think about in addition would be all the filters besides oil. So you have maybe an extra transmission filter if your car needs one. A lot of the newer stuff does not have a replaceable transmission filter. I know one vehicle of mine does not. Things like air filter, cabin filters, things like that. I mean, these things, and spark plugs too. If you think about it, spark plugs are a pretty big item. They are not like it used to be where, every 10 or 20,000 miles that you have to replace them. They go 100,000. But if you have a vehicle that you know is getting close to 100,000 miles or whatever, you might want to do that maintenance or pay for that maintenance, because it's important to get that done, and it kind of ensures that bubble of like, okay, I'm not going to have that issue where the spark plug dies or falls out and now I'm on back order. I know a lot of the things with what my job does for maintenance and logistics, that anytime one of the vehicles has a recall, these recalls are between 3 and 6 months holding up that vehicle because they can't get parts. Or the ECU reflash is a common one, but that one's pretty simple because it's just a computer software. But a lot of the things, if they had, an injector pump that's bad or it needs to be upgraded, can't get the parts, so we're waiting on hold for 3 months. And then it's 2 weeks, in the shop. So just things that you have to keep a mind out for. These are brand new vehicles within, I would say, 36 months old. So, I mean, it's crazy to see that some 36 months already needs these big parts. So, hopefully that helps and gives you an idea of what's going on. Remember, today, again, it's Veterans Day, so while my generation of vets, deployed and everything, remember to thank the people that are serving